telling you about dating, guy. I mean, shut your old ass up. You ain't been dating forever. You dated while we were using Morse code to get at each. You know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to a lot of the folks in the Redpill community because they're not having it. They say, nah, that dude's a fraud. And Rollo, you look stupid for. You know what? Let me give a shout out to the Redpill. I never do this, but the fan base is not nearly as manipulated and easily like maybe ill-informed as people make them out to be. You know, they coming from. They're like, yo, listen. Hey, listen, people are like, oh, I just realized the Red Pill's a giant joke. Even this guy. Okay, yeah, people are noticing it.
But I don't, you know what, to be fair, I don't think it's the entire Red Pill. It's just that the goofballs are really goofballs.
I agree. I do like some of the content creators.
I don't think it's the whole Red Pill community that's like that.
And it's just fascinating watching dudes call themselves rational males and all this other stuff, giving the most nonsensical arguments.
So what this is another thing about Apple and Preach. Looking at some of these guys in the Red Pill, and the Red Pill is supposed to be this awakening of men to understand women's nature. And this guy that they're talking about is supposed to be the godfather of the Red Pill. And the more of this Red Pill stuff that I listen to, the more of these guys. And it might not be everyone, but most of the people that I've heard are honestly they're dumbasses. And the reason why I say this is because they're frauds, and they're nerds that honestly never had girls when they grew up, and now it's like the nerds have taken over their internet now. It's the people who, to me, were first to understand how this internet stuff works, started posting videos, started doing these blogs, and these books and these things, they came out in the early 2000s of these pickup artists and things, and these guys are just started to evolve to the internet, and a lot of this stuff they're putting out is just bullshit. I mean, be honest with you on how to treat women, how to pick up women, and how you need to deal with women. And people are starting to call them out about this. Listen.
Stop being needy. This is not your time. This is our time.
This is this Godfather guy right here.
Bring it. Please. I'm begging you. Right here on the fucking chin. Do it. Do it now.
And so ultimately, what he's upset about is that the video that they did earlier about Donovan Sharp, which had nothing to do with him, he's actually reacting to that. And the thing is that they always talk about women being in feminine energy and being hysterical and things like that. But what is it when a man is in feminine energy? And I hate to even put it like in feminine energy because it's just what's the better way to say it? Just bitch mode. Is that what you call it now? Is that what we call a man that complains about something, just bitching? And this guy, from what I've seen a lot, has just been bitching about everything. This is what he looks like. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. But why are you taking dating advice if you're a young man from somebody that looks like this? The man has been married for over 20 years, from my understanding. And someone that's been married over 20 years, how are they relevant in giving dating advice? I mean, really.
True.
I mean, listen, the thing is that if anybody ever listened to Kevin Samuels, and I don't think Kevin was a part of this whole Red Pill thing, but when you listen to Kevin made a very intriguing statement about 6 months before Derek Jackson was exposed. Kevin said, it's kind of peculiar to me that a married man is giving all these women dating advice. Very peculiar. If you're giving a lot of women dating advice and you're a married man, how do you know? Because the market does change. Yeah. I mean, women have changed, with the internet thing. So how do you know? How is your advice still relevant and you've been married so long?
Probably from listening to other people.
I mean, that's like me, we have a multitude of cars. We have old school cars up to new school cars. This is like me taking my old school car to a new school mechanic. Or taking my new school car to an old school mechanic. The two are irrelevant. They're different. They're different periods in time. You see what I'm saying? And so this guy is from, honestly, we can call ourselves the Stone Ages before the internet. And what do you know? What's your feeling about this? What's your feeling about just even looking at this guy? Does this guy even look?
I thought he had a head injury. I thought he had claws around his head.
No, he is a 40 or 50-year-old man wearing a toboggan online all the time. And that's the thing. It's like, listen, I wear toboggans or whatever you want to call them, depending on where you're at.
Hats.
Scullies, from the south toboggans, the north scullies. But I wear them because I have no hair and my hair's cold. This man has longer hair than you do. A man has longer hair than you do. And so but wears a Scully every day online. I mean, is this your cool thing? But anyway, I don't want to get into the looks thing because I think that's petty. But at the same time, this advice is just, yeah.
It's like going to the gym. Like you wouldn't go to the gym and like take advice on lifting from like the scrawniest guy there.
Yeah, it is like that. It's like going to the gym, and let's just be completely honest with you. You're trying to lose weight, but your personal trainer's fat.
Yeah.
I mean, how much advice do you take from that person? And
Right. So like, it's not that we're picking on his looks, but
they have
he wouldn't make me
it.
feel real confident in the information that he was giving me.
I mean, the thing is that put him or anybody else or a younger guy on the bar that's got his stuff together, and even if though this guy may know all this stuff, you put both of them out in the playing field, and who are the women going to choose?
Right. Not him.
No. But like I said, and it's not just a few creators that he's beefing with. He's beefing and has problems with everyone. Just like
I don't have hate towards Rollo. I don't have drama towards Rollo. If anything, Rollo likes to create drama, is what I've realized, okay? And if there's anything that I'm not trying to be a part of, it's red pill drama.
If you want to come on and you want to do a debate and you want to have a conversation, we love that. We want to have that. But for us to come and for me to read chats where I'm reading it about someone's past and whatever beef you have with them, like, I'm not here to relieve your beef. That's for you to do. Reading drama between you and this gentleman, and it's like, as much as we're like, men don't have emotion and men don't have this, it's like, it was the highest level of emotion I've seen like these gentlemen have. And it's like, why do we have to be brought into whatever issue you guys have?
Yeah. Red pill dudes, much like the women they love to criticize and the bimbos that they meet in Miami, are very emotional and love to make false allegations that they can't prove themselves.
Funny how they talk about, these bitches, and then come to find out you the bitch.
and that is true. What I have noticed in this whole red pill space, and like I said, it may not be everyone, because I think there's a lot of creators in this red pill space, but the main ones seem to be very, very emotionally challenged. And what I mean by emotionally challenged is that anything gets under their skin and they start bitching. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they always talk about being manly and a manly trait, and the thing is that they'll say a man bitching is passionate. I mean, listen, I understand that you want to cover for some things, and I understand that men think that the same box doesn't apply to them that quote unquote applies to the women that they're speaking to. But to be honest with you, a lot of them, just like even the woman that was explaining here has more and was correct. They are being more emotional than some women about some of their topics. It's just getting to a point where it's just getting laughable. And the only people I think they're still fooling, and they are great actors, and they've been putting on this act for a long time. It's no different from if you see an actor on TV and you see someone acting in multiple genres of movies, but they're the same genre, action movies, and then you see them in real life, and they're nothing like what you see on TV. That's these guys. They're playing a part. They're playing actors. They've never lived this life. They've been, and like I said, most of these guys that are spouting off this red pill stuff are in relationships or married.
Right.
How are you telling other guys how to pick up women and to go through women and to have multiple women when you don't even do the same thing in your own life?
I feel like they're just riding the red pill wave.
These red pill guys always speak about women hitting the wall. At age 30, women hit the wall and they're useless. Here, how about men do hit the wall too?
Clearly.
And not just in looks, but also one of the things is that if you're useful to the group as a man. That's one of those things they talk about, high value men being useful to the group. But once your information that you have is outdated, have you not hit the wall at that point as a man? Because your information is not even relevant nowadays. And what you're saying doesn't even make sense. It makes sense to the people that don't have any experience, that haven't been through it. It makes sense. But for the people who've been there and done that, this is laughable. The information that they're giving out is laughable. It's literally bullshit.
Well,
And
women too, as they get older, their sex drive increases, and men as they get older, decreases.
you know what? And that might have something to do with what's going on right here. These men who are spouting this stuff, the reason why they might be so emotional is because they may need to get their testosterone checked. Your hormones might actually be out of check right now. You may need to go to a TRT clinic and actually get your hormones checked. This may be the reason why these older men, these older red pill men are so emotional right now. This may be why they're so feminine acting and bitchy. It's because their
hormones are taking over. They're hormonal.
If you have a problem with me, you can text me. I've texted Rollo multiple times. Hey man, we good? Hey man, what's the problem? Hey, I hear you're talking shit. Can we talk? No response. You chose to air out your drama on Super Chats and on YouTube. We paid for your flights. We paid for your hotels. We paid for your Ubers. We paid for meals. We've dined together, myself, Patrick, and you. We've went out to dinner. We've treated you with nothing with respect. But to come after us over a couple $100 or $1,000 for a flight, and to basically talk shit about me, PBD, Valuetainment, to mischaracterize what we do here because of $1,000 flight difference, or for one debate that was scheduled that you weren't even a part of with PBD on the PBD podcast, I think is a little beneath you.
So how many examples do you have to have of this guy just being emotional and picking beefs and fights with people? Because there's many more. He also said Andrew Tate took his information, took his speaking lines. He said Kevin Samuels has taken his stuff and took his speaking lines. He said anyone that says anything that pertains to relationships and women in this space has taken his stuff and misquoted his stuff. How big-headed and how egotistic do you have to be to think that everyone is riding on your coattails? I have more respect for Andrew Tate than I do this guy, because at least Andrew Tate was living it. I mean, right or wrong, he was living what he was talking about. Now, there was still a character in that, but at the same time, it's like, you can't say Tate didn't have multiple girls. You can't say that he wasn't living his life.
He can speak from experience.
He can speak from experience. How can a guy that's been married for over 20 years speak to it? Unless you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and he doesn't really look like that type of guy.
Yeah, he does.
I think that most guys in the Red Pill community, you're able to have a sit down with them. You're able to have a sit down with them, and they're not as delusional as that. I'm gonna take back a couple of things I said about the Red Pill. I'm not ready to put all of them in the same category. It's just that the goofballs are loud as fuck.
And there's a lot of them too.
Yeah, they're compensating for a lot of things.
But I will say, a lot of them do work with the goofballs and the frauds.
Yeah.
And they know that they're knowing frauds.
Yeah.
So that's a little sus. But anyways, low at everyone calling Rollo and emotional like it's an own. When can men be passionate and express their anger? Oh.
Yeah, because he's saying that he's passionate. He's not.
He's not being emotional. He's being passionate. Oh my God. Men can be passionate. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Okay, so when women express any kind of volatility, all of a sudden they're hysterical, they're emotional. When men do it, they're being passionate.
Big Jack in the building.
Come on, guys. Need you to be a little bit honest with yourselves. Call a spade a spade.
So ultimately, it seems like this red pill space is going through some turmoil and it's going through its ways. But honestly, it looks like for the most part, to me, outside looking in, it looks like it's starting to fall apart.
Starting to fizzle.
And the reason why it seems like it's starting to fizzle is because the quote unquote so-called main players in it are showing themselves. They're showing what was that movie? It was that movie where you've been measured and you've been found wanting. What was that movie? You've been measured and you've been found wanting. It was a fighting movie, meaning that we've seen you, and we see your true colors now, and you don't measure up to what you said that you are. You're not what you say you are. And the thing is that you can only play a character for so long. You can only play something for so long before your true colors start to show. And I think a lot of these guys in these red pill spaces, because there are new players coming into these spaces, and the new people that are coming in here, the men and the women that are coming into this red pill space, are not traditional what they call quote unquote red pill people, which means that some of these people come in and have some nuanced ideas. This guy Adam that's on this Sauce Cast, I mean, he lives down in Miami, and from my understanding, the man is well off and runs nightclubs. Mm-hmm. I would listen to more advice from picking up women, and he's single, than any of these red pill guys that are married.
Just what he sees in a day.
And he's in the thick of it. Mm-hmm. And honestly, he's in a place where it would be hard to find a true woman. And so, can you imagine the games that are played in Miami? We've been in Miami
conversations he probably hears between women.
Yeah, I mean, we've been to Miami, and Miami is a totally different atmosphere. I don't like Miami. It's just too much.
I like it.
Well, of course you like it, but I don't like having to pay $45 for a beer in a club. I think they're starting to see their little marketplace starting to be encroached on. When people start to come into your marketplace and you know that you're not the real thing, but you see some real players start to come into it's like the bully in school.
Yeah.
In a small school, but then you have a real bully that comes from an inner city school come to your school. You start to see that you're not shit. You're really not. Like, you are and you were in that small little circle and that small pond, but now that the real
feel
players
threatened, maybe.
Well, it's not even feel threatened. It's like you're starting to be exposed.
Yeah.
Like, the real players are starting to come into the circle, and the stuff that you thought and that you were selling people to be true, people are starting to, what do you say, open their eyes. This red pill, blue pill, black pill, all this bullshit. Listen, if you consider yourself a pill, that's not how the world works.
Right.
People are starting to open their eyes to, like, all this stuff you've been selling for the last 10 years. And if you're basing your whole dating strategy off of a movie, The Matrix, that's what you're basing your dating strategy off of. Listen, if that's what you're basing your dating strategy off of, you've never had a dating strategy. You've never been in it. Because nobody that's really actually been there and done that puts themselves in these boxes. And these guys are clearly starting to be exposed. But anyway, listen to them if you want to at your own risk. And I will take this. My cheers to you.